Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today we have a primary hybrid Phalaenopsis Telu. This is a cross between tetraspis and leuddemanniana. So coming up, this video clip, it's bloom video from its previous cycle. Last time it only gave me one flower, as far as I could remember. This is the only video clip I was able to find. So last time it gave me one flower, but this time around it actually gave me quite a few more. So this orchid is a sequential bloomer, and at the time of this video it already had, I think, 3 or 4 flower spikes. But for this particular orchid, not every single spike will bloom every single time. They turn resting, and I think it also depends on the kind of nutrients and environmental conditions. But for this orchid, this time around, it gave me 3 blooms from 2 of the 4 spikes. Telu is a very interesting orchid in that it has the fuzzy lip of tetraspis, but then it also has the fragrance and the marking of leuddemanniana. And we all know leuddemanniana really is known for its concentric circles. If you look closely, most of its primary hybrids or hybrids would all carry that very strong genetic characteristics. And this one is also no exception. It has that very interesting circle pattern, circle markings, and it has the fuzzy lip of tetraspis, and the flower itself, the petals, the sepals, feels really substantial and it looks really waxy. So it's very, very interesting. Every time it blooms, I just love staring at it. The fragrance is also amazing. It's very sweet. It's not as powdery sweet as tetraspis. It's sweet, but a little bit more citrusy, and I think it just smells more like a leuddemanniana orchid. And from here you can see it's currently in a inorganic substrate, and it's really a mixture of manto clay and hydrocorn. Usually I like to mix them together with bigger pebbles and small pebbles together, and the ratio usually is 1:1, sometimes 1:2, 2 being the smaller pebble if the roots are thinner, and then if the roots are thicker or for bigger size orchids, I would choose to have the bigger pebble in higher ratio with the bigger pebble. And here's a video clip of this Telu from this blooming cycle. It has a lot of aerial roots, and I'm thinking that because the way I position this orchid, it's not hard to move around, so I'm thinking I'll probably wait to repot this orchid. Now, here is another orchid that has leuddemanniana in its parentage, and it's a leuddemanniana. It's a cross between leuddemanniana and Yavong Nice Girl. Yavong Nice Girl has 72% Amboinensis in it. So we can probably even say this is a cross between leuddemanniana and Amboinensis. Almost. The reason I included this orchid in this video is to give you another comparison, another reference point. So as you can see here, it also has that concentric circle pattern marking on the flower. The coloration is a little different. This orchid tends to be less red, more pink fuchsia color to it, and then the white in the background, the milky white or the waxy white. It's more opaque white. It's not translucent, but the white in the background is more obvious than Telu, because Telu is really more red. I remember I did a video on both of them, or at least just a couple of photos of comparison from their previous cycle. I put them literally side by side. You can really see Telu is more red, and then this one is more pinkish fuchsia. Now, this orchid also has had past tense because I did repot this orchid after the flowers went faded, because the area roots were just so long that I did not feel I was able to every time avoid root damage if I need to move it to do anything. Later you'll see what I mean, because the arrow roots were really long, and also the way that the orchid was positioned, it was just leaning toward one side too much. So I really wanted to repot this orchid and readjust its position so that it's slightly more upright. Yes, eventually they will still somehow grow a pendant. That's just how Phalaenopsis orchid grow in by nature, by design, by its genetics. So unless you really control the light so well that it will continue to grow upward. But let's face it, a bunch of us all grow our orchids in well, at least by the window, so the light source is always somehow coming in at an angle, so they would always grow toward the light, the leaves anyway, so it would always somehow grow pendant. But anyway, this orchid was repotted after the flowers were gone, and it's doing really well. So I am confident that next bloom cycle it will give us more flowers. So when that happens, I would definitely make another video to give you an update. All in all, I think leuddemanniana is a very interesting, good orchid parent, and I actually have 2 leuddemanniana in my collection as well, but they're both really small at the moment. But I do have leuddemanniana hybrids that are mature, this one and then Telu, and then I have 2 other ones that that I should be able to make videos on their blooms pretty soon. But here, like you see, long roots. That's what I wanted to repot this orchid. But back to my overall assessment, I think they're good orchids to have. So if you come across these hybrids in your local market or online nurseries, and if you can afford it, I highly recommend them. They're not fussy at all, easy to care for, so give them a try when you get a chance. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!